Most people think you need a revolutionary game idea or a massive budget to make money in game development. Well, I made $70,000 from what most people would call a stupid meme game without having to invest any money into it. And today I will break down exactly how I did it. I'm literally going to show you my payment dashboard, my daily revenue graphs, the exact timeline of when money started coming in, and most importantly, when it stopped. The truth is 90% of indie games make less than $1,000. So when people ask me how a ridiculous concept made 70 grand, I think it's worth sharing exactly how the money actually flowed. Because what I learned about game revenue completely changed how I approach development. So let's dive into the numbers. So out of these $73,000, as you can see, my net revenue would be about $58,000, and because I'm also paying a 19% tax, this comes out to something like maybe $35,000 actually coming into my bank account. Let's look at the graphs here. So the lifetime gross Steam revenue is sitting at about $73,855 at the moment. This is about 3 years and 5 months after release. Now the thing is, with Battle Royale, I first released it as a free game so I can get, well, clearly as many players on it as possible. It's a battle royale, and if you make it paid and only maybe 10 people buy it, then who the hell is gonna play? There's not enough people to even start a match. It's very important for mass multiplayer games, especially ones that are not made by a AAA studio and maybe just one dude, to be free or as accessible or as cheap as possible. You want to make sure the game is free or as cheap and accessible as possible, because if your player count drops below a certain threshold, you can guarantee your game will just completely die, because there won't be enough players to even sustain gameplay. So we can see here the Battle Royale actually sold about 1.4 million copies. Well, I wouldn't say sold, I would say half of them were maybe acquired for free. So for the first year on release, my monetization strategy for the game was something akin to Counter-Strike 2, where you would have an item that you can use to gamble and get a random cosmetic in the game. After about a year, when the game had its hype launch and the player base kind of died down, I decided to focus more on extracting revenue out of it. So I decided to make it paid. I just made it $5. Obviously, the player counts would decrease. For the first year, the player base would hit about 100 to 200 peak daily players as the game was free. This is important to, once again, keep your player base alive and make sure matches can actually be created and played. After that first year, when the hype died down, I decided to extract a bit more revenue from the game because the name was out there and I could use the free marketing and make some money out of it. So you can tell at what date I actually made the game free, because the player count drops from about 132 to 30. So at that point, my revenue model was less about loot boxes and random cosmetics and getting kids to gamble so I can make money. It was more about just, you buy the game, you enjoy the game, play it with your friends, play it with the Discord community. So I'm looking at the past 3 months right now, and the game would make about $31 daily on average, and that's with the new model of the game actually being paid. What's surprising is, between the game being paid and free, the daily income stream didn't really change much at all. So I would say I predicted the best time to make my game paid and transition out of that free-to-play model. Now to talk about the kind of cuts that you're gonna see with this. So 73,000 sounds like a lot, but you have to remember Steam takes about 30% of your revenue just for themselves, and then there's maybe about like 19% in taxes, which you can deduct if you have VAT set up and like a company and everything. But for me, that's basically just going straight to the US government, because I'm just a guy. Now, if you're one of those lucky devs that actually does have funds to play around with and a little bit of investment to put into it, I would say put a very good chunk into marketing, into paid marketing, especially something like Reddit ads or like promoted YouTube videos, like promoted Twitter posts. I'm not going to talk about the accounting of development costs and all that. That's not the topic here. Running a game studio is a whole thing entirely. I'm just talking about the business side of things. The crazy thing about seeing these numbers laid out is realizing how much of game development success isn't about the code or the art or even the quality of your game. It's about understanding the business side of things that no one really talks about. Look, I know most of you watching this have a game idea. I mean, I have like 5 written down. I don't know when the hell I'm gonna start working on them. Maybe you're already building something. Maybe you're scared that it's not good enough, or you're wondering if anyone will actually buy it. I've been there. The difference between developers who make money and those who don't comes down to having real conversations about this stuff and the business side of things. So this is kind of a developer community that I've been building over time. So as you can see, we have about 300 members, fellow developers. Here's a few conversations that we've had. People here like to help each other and give support, especially with coding and like Unreal Engine stuff. There's actually a few interesting projects in here. If you've heard of Chain Together, the developer of that is in my server. There's actually a few prominent developers in this server, as they are, well, customers of my plugins. That's actually why I built a free Discord for serious game developers. Not dreamers, not idea guys, people actually shipping games. We break down what works to help each other out, and honestly, it's just nice to talk to people who get why you're spending Friday nights debugging collision meshes. The link's in the description if you want to join us. We're at about 300 developers now, and some of them are building the next games that'll surprise everyone with their success. Whether you join or not, I hope seeing these real numbers helps you plan out your own path. Because if a meme game can make 70 grand, imagine what your idea could do. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.